when did you come to Grace? And your role was the principal, as I understand it. And kind of what years were you there at Grace Christian School or Grace Baptist Church?
Okay, well, in 1996, I was the principal at the Devon Park Christian School in Fredericton, and then I was basically led away from there, and we went up north to the Northwest Territories for a year, and so I taught up there, and we knew it was just going to be a one-year thing, so we actually flew home in the March break, and I was speaking in chapel at Devon Park, and I got this phone call in the office, and I go to the phone, no idea who it would be calling me there, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Jim Newsom, and Jim said, "Listen, we're looking for a principal for next year. Would you be interested in coming and being part of that?" So then I think we had if I remember correctly, we had our interview at the March break of that year with Jim, as he was the chairman of the board, I think, at the time. And then after that, things just rolled around, and we finished up north in the end of June, and we went to the island, we bought a house, and we started there in August.
Right on. And you were there how many years?
And we were there from August of 97 until June of 2001. So 4 complete school years.
Right on.
Yeah.
What was kind of going on at the school at the time? What are some of your kind of highlights, memories from that?
Well, the school I felt it had a great bunch of teachers, and they were really easy to work with. A lot of this, there's not many still left. I guess Neil and Ann are still left in the school. I don't know if there's anybody else.
Yeah.
But it was a good group. We worked well together. It had a few years that were a little rocky, it seemed. Some things had happened, but they were coming out of that. And I remember they'd had a really good boys basketball team the year before, and they'd done really well. It was after that, and so they had lots of sports teams, and there just seemed to be a good energy in the school.
Yeah.
And so that's what I kind of remember when I got there. And I also remember how well not only the school board, Jim, and all those who were on it, and Pastor Breeden was a great support and encouragement, but even as in the church itself, there was just a great feeling of welcomeness to you coming into the congregation. And I just think of so many of the people there, like the older people who a lot of them have passed on now, but they were just really encouraging. They'd come up to you and they'd talk to you, and then the connections we had with people our age, and it just seemed it was a really good fit. The kids had lots of friends, so it was a good time starting in, and it was a pretty good 4 years for us. Yeah.
Had you known much about Grace Christian School prior to going?
I knew a few things about it. I lived on the island from grade 7 to grade 12. I graduated from Three Oaks, Summerside in '79. Yeah. My father was the pastor of a Baptist church in Central Badek. So we lived in Badek.
Yes.
And so I think I'd been down to Grace for a youth conference or something, and there was connections and at times. So yeah, I was aware of it, and just through working with the Christian schools over the years, I knew there was a school there and that kind of thing.
Yeah, excellent. Yep. So lastly, when you kind of think of the future of Grace Christian School and Grace Baptist Church, like what excites you? What would your prayer be for us?
Well, I've seen, kind of thinking back in the 97 to 2001 time, and I haven't been really distant from it over the years at all, because we've made good relationships with friends there, and we've gone back usually twice a year. We'd be at the church, so we've seen things that have happened and how things have kind of changed a little bit over the years. And then, of course, I was part of the Gospel Coalition, so we were part of it with that too. And I really, Sandra and I, anytime we were at church there, are always encouraged when we leave. We feel that you yourself deliver a good message, and it's always sound of the word, and it's really something that people can mull over and think about. And the music, we enjoy the music, the style, and the type of music that you sing, and we like the direction you're going with doctrinally as well. So we've often said that if we were there, we'd obviously want to go to that church.
Right. Yes.
But so we have always been encouraged, and so I guess as I look long term, I hope that the church will continue in the path it's going, really. And I know when you're there on a Sunday after Sunday thing, it's different than someone just looking in, once in a while. But I hope that the church will continue to remain true to the gospel and true to the scriptures and emphasizing those couple of things, and that regardless of what else is done, that would still be the focal point of the church.
Amen.
Because there's lots of other things that can sidetrack you, and things like that can happen. But I think right now, Grace seems to be doing a good job in staying the course and following its mission. And so I just hope that 50 years time, you can look back and see that you've been at the same spot as you were at this point, even and even progressed even more. So,
Amen.
Yeah.
Did you ever cross paths with our current principal, Jason Beach?
Yeah, that's a good question. Jason. While I was there, I remember getting a resume on my desk from this guy called Jason Beach, and he was from Australia or somewhere. And I remember looking at it and said, "What in the world would this guy want to be coming here for?" Not knowing too much about it.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any openings, so I never had a chance to contact him. But I think we got another one. I think there was like 2 or 3 that continued to be sent in. So always in my file folder, there was this resume of Jason Beach. And so anyways, lo and behold, there was a need, and we contacted Jason, and the rest is history, right?
Wow.
Because a little rough around the edges at the start.
As we all are.
As we all are. But I rejoice the fact that what God has done in Jason's life, because I think he's a tremendous asset for the school. I know he's great in the church as well, but he's led that school perhaps nowhere where no one else would have led it. Hey? And he's been open to the Lord's leading, and he's been willing to take some risks and things. And I think there's no one greater for that job than Jason. I really admire what has been done in his life.
Wow. Praise the Lord. So you were the one that hired him?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I didn't know at the time whether this was going to be a mistake or not, but it turned out to be a pretty good hire. Because I know I've made some hires in the past that I've looked at and said, that wasn't a good one. But Jason was definitely maybe the top of the list.
That was a good one.
It was a good one.
That's great.
Yeah.